Hello, this is Jeff from Studio 41 Productions, and I'm here today to tell you how to master the strike mission, the Devil's Lair in Destiny. You first start off by obviously just if you already have two people with you, then you can jump right in pretty quickly. But if you're like me when I did this and did the recording for it, I just searched for two random people by myself. And once you find those guys, you start out and have to actually get into the Devil's Lair, and you gotta be really careful at the beginning here, as you will face some pretty high level enemies. You're going to definitely want to stick together and don't do what I did in the gameplay you see, as one of our guys ran off, and I'm really not sure what he did. I don't think he followed me and the other guy, because we ran off and went one way and he went the complete other way, or didn't play, or was AFC or something, I don't know. But you have to fight some pretty high level enemies. They're going to be anywhere from level 7 to level 9 actually. And I was only level 6 when I did this, so if you guys aren't organized, you might have a bad time. But eventually you'll get your way through them, and then you just have to kill some ads. You actually start facing level 6 enemies. And the Devil's Lair is rated as a level 6 strike mission, so it's definitely a relief to face the level 6 enemies. And then you get to the first real big fight area, which is hacking the mesh generator. Your ghost has to deactivate 3 levels of the mesh that's blocking your way, and he takes a good while to do it. But you have to really fight for your life, as you're going to face some really tough enemies. The best way to take them down really is to try and spread out a little bit. There's not a whole lot of room, so it's not very easy to do. But I saw the best way of beating it is to have somebody behind the generator, somebody double jump up to the walkway that's above and behind the generator, and somebody down to the left a little bit. But if you're gonna go to that down left spot, you gotta be careful, because they come around the right side from where the generator is. They come around there pretty hard and can give you some trouble. But that's really the best way to lay people out to defend that area. You just have to be careful if you're that left person. And after you kill the mini boss, he's pretty easy to kill, and eventually the ghost will finish deactivating the mesh layers, and then you get to move on through the area that was previously blocked off. And you just go through a couple hallways, and you gotta take out a few more enemies. They're nothing special really, just a couple, maybe a wizard and a knight. But then you move on, and you get to cut through the Fallen, which will be the next objective, and then you get to the big guy. I'd say the hardest boss in this raid, or strike mission, whatever you want to call it. The Devil Walker. He's a pretty hefty challenge. If you don't know what you're doing, he can really screw you up. The best way to take him out is really to just spread out, because now you actually have the room to do it. Someone on the right side, hiding behind the wall, where I am, yeah, you'll see that's I think is the best spot to do damage from. My friend tried to go into the building, and that's even farther around the right side, but the Devil Walker, you're really exposed there, and if the Devil Walker uses his laser beam shot, he'll kill you, because you won't have enough time to react. But it's really, I think, to have someone in the spot where I was, someone in the middle killing ads, and then someone on the left side up by the Devil Walker. There's a bunch of big stone columns up there that you can hide behind, and it'll stop pretty much anything he throws at you. And really, you just gotta wear him out, and definitely shoot his legs. That's his weak spot. And once you shoot one of his legs enough, he'll go down and expose his neck where you can really do some damage. My friend I mentioned earlier was able to get up there with his golden gun, and he was doing, because when you hit him there, it's a guaranteed critical hit. And if you gotta be careful with the golden gun though, because the shots are big and they can not get critical hits. But he was able to get the critical hits off of him, and he was doing over 1,000 damage for each hit. And if you hit him with a sniper in the neck, I think it will do about 500 or 600. So that's a good alternative if you're not a hunter. But if you shoot him in the legs, it's how you get critical hits. Shoot him in the neck, as you get him bigger critical hits. You might have to labor through some ads. The spot that I'm at, there's actually an ad spot right behind you. But if you use it, I saw a good alternative is to keep your grenade. And if you keep your grenade on you, the ads will spawn, and then you can just jump back and throw your grenade. And now, if it doesn't kill all of them, the one or two that survive will be easy to take out in 1 or 2 hits. But if you spread out against the Devil Walker, eventually you'll take him out, and don't rush anything. Labor through the ads. Every once in a while, a bunch of them will spawn in the middle, and you might have to take them out, but they won't even move sometimes. But eventually you'll wear them out, and then you're good to move on. Alright, and after you've killed the Devil Walker, you just gotta kill about 5 or 6 ads, go through a couple hallways, and then eventually you'll enter the Devil's Lair. The big door will open, and then you'll see one of the big purple guys that you've probably seen in the story missions a couple times by now. You just gotta kill a bunch of the ads that are around, and then eventually he'll Septicus Prime is his name, but he'll drop his shield and start attacking you. And really, I don't think this guy is very hard. The only time I've had trouble with him is if your team isn't spread out very well, and then he can eventually just wail on you enough and try and kill 1 or 2 of you. 2 of you at once, I should say. If you spread out, this guy is not hard to kill. The best way to spread out being 1 person in the middle, 1 on the right, and then 1 person not on the elevated part to the left, but on the lower part over to the left, kind of in that corner spot. If you spread out, I mean, this guy, the only way he can really get you, he teleports around. And if he teleports to one of the corner spots, he might give you a little bit of trouble, but just everybody has to switch their cover or just move around to the right side if he gets in that left corner spot. But move quickly, because he's actually teleported to the right spot, and that was the first time I've ever seen him in that spot. But if you bunch up too hard on that right side, he might teleport over there and get you. But really, this guy doesn't have much of a variety in his attacks. He just shoots those big purple blasts out. They don't even do a whole ton of damage, but I don't think I've ever actually been hit directly by them. They've just hit around me, and if they don't hit you directly, they may take a 1/6 or 1/5 of your health out. The real issue in this battle, if you want to call it one, is the ads. He spawns ads like crazy, or I guess I shouldn't say he spawns them, but fallen ships will come in and spawn some fallen. And if you're not paying attention, they might get you. They might get a couple hits on you from behind and hurt you a bit. But just kill the ads, and just keep shooting that middle. Easy to tell that's his weak spot, his big middle eye. Every once in a while, you might want to flush out the ads in the middle, because I did this once or twice where there's a whole bunch of ads were down in the lower middle part, and if you don't pay attention to them, they might eventually decide to grow a brain and start shooting at your people on the edges. So if you have a Titan or a Warlock, either one would do a good job. You just waste your special on them. It'll probably generate like 5 or 6 orbs of light. I know I did it once with my Titan and generated like 4 or 5 of them. So obviously you don't want to stick around there very long, because Septicus might start shooting at you down there. But eventually you'll wear him out and take him down. I think he has more health than the Devil Walker, because the Devil Walker, after you take out his legs, he can become kind of a pain in the butt to take down. But Sepkus isn't too hard to take down. He doesn't have multiple areas you have to attack like the Devil Walker. So eventually you'll take him out, and I think there might be a loot chest underneath. So after the quest ends and the timer starts going out from the mission, just pick up the loot. And I thought there was a gold chest down below. I can't remember if it was a mission that me and my friend did it, or if it was this, but check it out and you might find it. But really, that's all there is to it. The Devil's Lair is definitely a fun time if you have friends that know what you're doing and you can communicate pretty well. If you get stuck with a couple dummies like I did in this, you might have a bit of a rough time, but it's not too hard. It's pretty straightforward. Spread out. Don't let ads swamp you. And just make sure you get those critical hits. And thanks for watching, and hopefully you can now master the Devil's Lair.